Greetings and blessings. I am your humble host, Mr. David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers, and I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator. And I can trust that each and every one of you will accept and receive the honor, the gifts, the healing, and the knowledge of the universe. And so this particular discussion, I I've thought about it since my earlier video today, and greetings and blessings to everybody who shows up this evening, and thank you for being a subscriber and hitting the like button. Thank you all always. But I do think that as a watchman, as a watcher, and as a prepper myself over all these many 67 years of mine, um, I realize there should be a discussion that I did a little bit more research also about the supply chain disruption thingy, and it's in Bloomberg and it's all over the place, and it's like, so it's not just in China that things are stacking up, but they're stacking up in ports all over the place who aren't going to China, who won't go to China because China's locked down. So the shipping industry and all these big shipping containers and everything, it's a really big business. And the disruption of the supply chain. Now, I've spoke about my being in manufacturing over the years. I was an engineer for many years and a machinist and a worker and just, So, but the thing is that anytime, even within a plant, if these guys don't supply material over to these guys, they can't make the product. So you have to make sure that things flow in an orderly manner within the plant, which was one of my jobs. It was a job title at several other places, but at different plants. But anyway, it's very important within a plant structure. So now think about that. If you disrupt something in your workforce, if even in a hamburger joint, the hamburger's got to come out, you got to do this, they got to go down the line, you do this, things have to flow correctly. I was in charge of making flow charts. Now, okay, so there's all this shipping that's going on in the world. Things are going here and there. Things have been ordered 6, 8, 10 months in advance. Now, back when I was doing puppet shows and so forth and traveling around, I would literally start booking for events 9 months ahead of time. Now, I wasn't making anything. I was going to go and perform and do whatever it is, but there were 6 to 9 months before the event, people would get in touch with me, and I would get in touch with them. If I saw that there was something going on or whatever, I'd send them an email, I'd send them a note and say, hey, you need a puppeteer, storyteller, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, but you just can't walk up and go, hey, I want to do this. No, it takes planning. It takes a lot of people. A lot of things have to go in the right motion. Now, what if this supply chain gets FUPA'd? It's already in major FUPA. Now, in the recent report that I read about an hour ago, is that 1/3 of China's industry has been slowed or almost shut down completely. 1/3 of China's manufacturing, delivery, 1/3. Think about that. Now, there are over 1 billion people, and 1/3 of them is 300 million people aren't doing something where they would normally work, make something, you know what I mean? So but think about it. So these people aren't delivering anything. They're having issues with finding truck drivers. So there are things sitting at the docks. They're there, but there's no drivers. People are sick. People are scared, whatever the reason. And so things aren't moving. Now, for every day that it takes, I'm just giving you a little history, but for every day that it backs up, it'll take 2 days to straighten it out. So if 3 days backs up, it's going to take 5, 6 days. It almost takes twice as long to fix the mess because now you got stuff in the way. And things aren't going to flow on a dock, in a plant, in a warehouse. Things are going to be stacked up and folks are going to be going, I don't know where to begin. I don't know what goes first. Things are going to be in total disarray. Now, why is that important? Because the disruption in the supply chain. There could be things sitting in a warehouse, but if they don't get moved from point A to point B, either on time or if there isn't anybody available to move it or whatever the reason is, that supply chain is disrupted. Now, the farther we go from home to these things, why you say, am I going into all this? Because it matters. If you're finding something, if you're buying something that's being made on the other side of the planet, and that supply chain gets disrupted, whoops. Now, within my own area, there are people, places, and stuff that grow locally. There's food, there's cows. I go to a local store and they buy, I say local beef, local in that the fact is that it's in the United States. It may be even in Georgia. It's grass fed. They're very specific with what they do. They've been dealing with these same people for a long time, and the meat is excellent. Just had some in my stew tonight as a leftover. But to the point though, that about this, my supply chain that I have learned to be prepared about is to make sure that the things that I need or necessity, I can try to get as local as possible. Now, that's just not, necessarily available to everybody. So this supply chain has already been disrupted. Now, so it's not a matter of if this something might happen. It's a matter of when it's going to catch up. Okay. And like I said, for every day that something is down, it's going to take 2 days to fix it. People have got to get back to work so they can say, okay, ban's lifted. People got to get back to work. Machines got to get started. All kinds of stuff have to get done. And what if somebody is sick or has, God forbid, died during the course of the shutdown? So they're not returning to work. So somebody else is going to either have to take a position. What if there isn't anybody? What if they haven't been trained for that job? So you not only do you have this backlog, now you don't know how many of your original workers get back to work. What if only 85% show up? Well, that's 15% back. What if those 15% know where everything is and nobody else knows what they know? So now you've got a cluster mess. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Marie, blessings back to you again. So I'm not trying to panic anybody, but if there's something that could already be within your community, your country, a local distribution center, and I mean local, meaning within your state, within 100 miles of you, a lot of folks over here, like in South Georgia, there are several large distribution centers here in South Georgia, one for Walmart, one for Target, one for this, one for that. And I mean, just not too far from me, within 100 miles of me, easy. So, but the thing is that, so how many Target stores are there down here? And how many does this warehouse feed? How many products are in that warehouse that are going to be delivered? But there may not be a backup delivery coming from wherever that may be. So you might get something for the next month or two, maybe certain items. But then it might be that all of a sudden everybody's scrambling for the same damn thing because all of a sudden the market and the warehouses where these things were stored, and there was a sort of a backup, but not a lot, because they were depending on on-time deliveries. They don't show up. So what happens? They don't have the product to sell. You can't buy it. And whatever it is. Now, so I've talked for the last 10 minutes about this disruption. It's really important that people understand this, because there are going to be people who would like to poo-poo me right now about this and say, oh, that's just chaos and that can't really happen. It's already happened. Okay. I've worked in enough areas where we need to pay attention to this. Now, the question is, how severe is it going to be? Don't have a clue. there are numbers coming out because there are things sitting on docks that people are waiting for but can't get to. Ships aren't loading them. Dock workers, whatever the deal is, it ain't happening. And it started back in January. So if you think this just happened in the last week or so, nuh-uh. This happened a month ago. Okay. So we're already 1 month behind in certain deliveries of things. We're already a month behind. So if Target's supposed to be getting something in and it's still sitting on a dock in Beijing or something, it's supposed to be here, but it's not even leaving the dock. It's not loaded yet. It's not there. There may not even be a ship ready for it. But whatever the deal is. So here's the thing. So Target's going, well, it's supposed to be on the way. We're supposed to be planning on this. It ain't coming. So think about this. 6 months in advance, things have to be ordered. Well, they have to be ordered a year in advance. But just take the 4th of July, for example. A lot of 4th of July decorations and things. There's very highly likely that things like that are like sitting on the shelf or in a container somewhere. There are summer clothes that are supposed to be shipped before spring so they could get into the outlets and get distributed and everything, because it takes a little while once it gets over here to get trucked, shipped, and everything, right? So let's just think about shorts for the summer. What if there's a 500,000 size 12 shorts sitting in a thing over there, and there are people who are hoping to buy a new pair of shorts this summer? They ain't gonna get them. Why? Regardless of what has been manufactured, what is being shipped, if nothing's moving, it's not going to be just food. It's going to be all kinds of stuff. Okay. Now, let's get into the preparedness part. I've talked long enough about this, but it is very important that you understand this could very well be a really strange crisis of its own accord. Could be. It's how you and I take it. Now, over the last many years, and I've talked to many of you about this over the years in my previous videos and so forth. And it's like I've learned how to get by. Let me back up that boat just a little bit. Hi, Bob. Hi, everybody. Blessings. I know this is going to be a touchy subject for some people, but if folks don't get their brains prepared that this is a potentially a serious issue, there are folks that are fighting over toilet paper and paper towels because things aren't moving. But every one of us are going to have a movement at least once a day, and we're going to wish we had something. And most of us don't have the Sears Roebuck catalog anymore, for those old timers who know what that means. But anyway, so how do we prepare? All right, think of it like this. What do I really need? I could really use toilet paper. That comes in handy. So there are certain paper products. Well, how hard is it for you to, don't buy a lottery ticket, but buy a couple of extra packages of toilet paper? I'm not saying that we get that sort of locally within the United States. This is just, but see, them folks over in China may not be getting toilet paper. You know what I mean? Because the trucks aren't moving. So here's the thing. After the hurricane last year, and the trucks weren't moving, lights weren't on and things, it took them 2-3 months for some things to finally get back on the shelf because the distribution, the stores and everything had been disrupted. So do I know firsthand from last year? Well, now this is 2020, but 2018, when the hurricane came through South Georgia and all down and through here, we learned really quick that, whoops, we can't get that. Well, when you're going to get it, we don't know. What do you mean you don't know? We really don't know. The supply chain has been, get this, disrupted. No, that's at my local general dollar store. A lot of other places too were short on things. And it took them a little while for the supply chain to get filled back up for those items to make it back to the store. Now you've got billions of items sitting in great big huge storage containers, not just in China, but in Japan, some of the Indonesian countries. Guess what we get out of Taiwan? All of our computers and all of our chips. If folks in that industry get sick, you won't be able to buy a capacitor. You won't be able to buy a computer chip. People, I've talked about this before about you know why I trust Trump over some of these other idiots, because he's trying to bring manufacturing back to the United States. That we should have never lost the chip industry. Oh, the companies own it, but over there we don't make anything in the United States. We don't make shoes in the United States anymore, hardly. There are some boot companies and things like that. But there used to be a shoe shop in every one of these towns down here in South Georgia when I was growing up, when I first moved here. You can't find a shoe shop anymore. So there are basic things. What? Okay, so there's a bunch of shoes, tennis shoes, ready to come over for the summer. They're sitting in a dock somewhere because they can't be moved. Okay, we're not talking about food now, but here's the thing. You got a pair of sneakers, maybe you should upgrade. Maybe you should get them now. If there's something that you can say, you know what, in the very near future, maybe I should just go ahead and spend $15 on a cheap pair of sneakers to get me by, just in case. First thing I would do is we can't panic about this, because if it don't get to us, it ain't gonna matter. We're gonna have to deal with it. And that's the first step in being prepared about this. We now have the knowledge there's something weird going on. Well, it's not weird. It's happening. But it's going to be weird to us when the supply chain breaks down. And there are certain people who are going to be expecting certain things, and when we don't show up, what's going to happen? Now, there are those Cliff High and Jay Snip and the Three Amigos, Bixweir, I think it is, we're on today. And I listened to it, but I've done some other research and I've got my own point of view. But as far as the manufacturing and everything, Cliff is really right on the money now, and a lot of what he said, because of my own previous experience, not because of what he said, but in the fact that it's true. Now, how many of our medicines are made overseas? How many of them are made here? Now, what if your medicine is like some psychotic drug and it's sitting in a warehouse or on a shipping thing? It's done, it's been manufactured, but it can't leave the port. It's stuck where it's at. So you've been taking Ambien now for 5 years, but your bottle of Ambien's sitting in a seaport somewhere and it ain't going nowhere. And they're already a month behind. Think about it. So I know that there's they make Pampers and things here in the United States. I know that we make ball bearings in a plant near here. That's one of only like 4 on the planet that makes ball bearings. So we, okay, but there are things that are made here in the United States. But here's the thing: if 50% of something is coming from overseas and we can't get it for Lord knows how long, that means that there's going to be 50% of the commodities. I don't know. Let's pick balloons I don't know. That's a dumb thing to pick. But okay, balloons ain't coming in anymore. But there's one company in the United States that makes balloons. But all the rest of the balloons are made over in China and every place, but they're stuck. So all the balloons for all the birthday parties and everything are stuck on a dock somewhere. So this one balloon company, the only one left in America hey, Scratch, how are you? To still make balloons. This is just an example, But now all of a sudden, everybody in the United States is going, but we need 50% more balloons. You got to make more balloons. What does he do? He can't do it. Why? He doesn't have the equipment. He's not set up for it. He may have a plant that makes balloons, but now he's already running 2 shifts. So now he's going to go a third. Now he's going to run 24/7, which is hard on the machinery. He's got to hire extra work, but you can't just say, well, okay. No, it's going to take him months to be able to do this. 1 month at least. You got to hire people, train them, get the equipment. You can't just say, okay, we're going to up production. It don't work that way. So for whatever it is, balloons, forget about it. Now, my first thing would be find out if there is something you must live with. I mean, it's a medical device. There are patches. There are some kind of filters. Now, think about the millions of people on CPAP machines that use these things. Now, where is a really good place for a virus to hide? CPAP machine. I got rid of mine because I couldn't get rid of my lung issues. I still cough up a bunch. But, when I had my CPAP machine was on the thing and the mask and the whole deal, I couldn't get rid of, I was on one of them puffers all the time. I'm off all that mess. Okay. And I feel much better after it. But, 4 or 5 years ago, man, I couldn't breathe. I had to have a walker. I was in a wheelchair. Screw all that. But here's the thing, though, for me. But the thing is, if there's something you're dependent upon and it isn't coming from the United States, if it says distributed by, you better find out where that's coming from. If it's something that's life-threatening and you may, honest to God, really need this, be prepared. Now, if it's something you really like, get over it. And that's what I mean by in the things that we need versus the things that we want. Oh, I can't live without Gouda cheese. Calm down. You'll make it, Bunky. Just, keep your knickers from getting in a tangle, So, so the first thing to be prepared about this, actually 1 and 2, first is we now have knowledge. Whoops. This is like looking at the radar and going, ooh, there's rain showers in the area. Yeah, but there's 150-mile-an-hour winds with those rain showers. So it's not just a matter of whether or not you're going to get wet. You're going to have to hunker down. So after the storm settles, you go, woo, what do I really need? Water's cool, but I got that covered myself. But so one of the first things you do is you look around in your own environment and you say, whatever you're buying on a regular basis, what must I can I have? I got to have it because it's life support or something. It's filters or something for a device or, you know what I mean? But if it's something that you just really want and you like it on a regular basis, then stock up, Spunky, because you might not get it. And there are going to be people who are going to be freaking out about some of this stuff because it's not if it's going to happen, it's going to be when. Now, again, I have no predictions as to how bad it's going to be. Except my predictions. If I thought it was just going to be like, no problem, I wouldn't be having this video. Okay. So that's how concerned I am, not for myself, but from other people, because I've already, figured out what my wants and needs are. And, if I have to, if I have to live in a tent, it's in the back of my truck. Somebody said, well, you need to be prepared in case something. And I said, listen, I got a tent. I got 2 tents in the back of my truck. I got camping gear. I got a stove. There's some water. There might even be a can of food or 2 stuck in the back of my truck. And yeah, I drag it around with me all the time. But I want to be ready if I want to go jump in my kayak. That's where I'm at with that. But it's also, if I need to get the hell out of Dodge, I just got to say, well, I'm going to throw another little bit of food in here. I'm out of here. Let me start the truck. Let's go. Maybe throw some fishing gear in there, but I got line and stuff. I could make a fishing pole, but anyway, but to the point of this, we are all going to get affected by this. Now, to what degree? That's the thing. So how hard is it going to be on me if some of this stuff doesn't hit American shores and doesn't get distributed? Probably not much, because I've already localized. Like when I do buy meat, it's from a local store. There are a lot of canned goods, but a lot of these, there are canning facilities within the state of Georgia. There are farmers down here. I used to work for a farmer that sold mustard greens, turnip greens, like that. And, they would load them on the trucks and take them right up to the cannery and deliver them, I mean, tons of collard greens, and they'd wash them, clean them, and put them right into cans, man. I mean, it was fresh. So, and this is the time of year that they're doing it, actually, too, cutting collards and mustards, turnips, that kind of thing, for cans. So, but anyway, so, but all these things take time to process. So they got to get it out of the field, got to get it to the plant. It gets cooked, set, put in the can and everything. But those cans need to get distributed. But I know for myself, there's enough local growers. I'm going to be okay. I'm not on any kind of filtering system or anything. Okay, might stock up on a few extra batteries or something like that, but a lot of this stuff is local. If you're expecting to get any rechargeable batteries or anything like that from over yonder, you better buy up what you can find right now, because they're going to disappear. They've already gotten very vague in places. Used to be able to buy rechargeable batteries almost everywhere. They're hard to find. Pay attention. Things are moving. Things are changing. So, if not that it's going to get dark, but be prepared with certain things. If you're used to having certain items, and like for me, yeah, I got batteries all over the place because I'm all the time going outside, and I don't ever know if our electricity is going to get shut off. But it's more because I'm a camper and an outdoorsman, and I just want to have batteries for my stuff. Me and Breaking Dawn are very much alike in that respect. So look at your own life. I can't tell you what to do or not do, but in your situation, what could get shut off? What could possibly be sitting on a dock somewhere? Sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Anyway, but with that said, so you got to be prepared. Okay, now you have the knowledge. Now, to be prepared, look within your environment, see what you absolutely need. It is imperative. Don't take this lightly. Now, if you look around your stuff and go, well, that's made in Chicago, beware. If it says distributed by, it ain't made there. So you need to go to the company if you're really dependent on something like these masks and things and other filters and stuff. A lot of that's made in other places because labor's cheap. So if it ain't coming in, if it's stuck somewhere because of some port of call mess, check the company. If it says distributed by Walmart, yeah, but go to Walmart. See where they built the damn thing. See where it was made. Seriously. It used to be the, Walmart back in the day when Sam Walton was still alive, it was made in the USA. They don't give a crap about that no more. But so find things that are made here. Find out if there is something that does come from overseas. You get what you can now. There are already backlogs of things of stuff that it ain't coming in. Cliff was talking about a particular part that only came from China or over in that area, and it's been backlogged since November of last year. So he has personal experience with ordering something from overseas, and it still ain't here yet. And his comment was about that. I seriously doubt I'm going to get it anytime soon because of what's already going on. A third of the workforce is not working. a third of China's workforce, and Japan's having issues. So we need to just. Are you worried about the virus? I could catch a cold. There's a virus going around up with my friends in Tifton that I was talking with tonight, and they all keep throwing this cold around. They're like, "Come and visit," and I'm like, "Nah." I got a little sinus infection, and there's some pollen in the air. We got a lot of pine pollen and stuff in the air, and right now, and things are blooming when they shouldn't be. It's not even March yet, and we got azaleas blooming, the pear trees are blooming, some of the plum trees are blooming. We're going to have a freeze on Friday. Yeah, that's really good. But anyway, but to the point of being prepared mentally. If it's something, by God, you got to have, then figure it out. If you're taking 3 pills a day of something and your meds might get somehow disrupted or something, and CVS or whoever, Walgreens, ain't getting the drugs because the market is over there and they're supposed to get it and it's already backed up. You know what I'm saying? So you could say, well, I've been taking this pill for the last 5 years, but for some reason, their distributor ain't getting it to them because it ain't coming in. You following? So you might want to, instead of 3 a day, drop to 2 and say, put that one puppy away because it might really come in handy later on. Now, I'm not saying that all drugs, but do your own homework. That's why I got off of all of these other meds, because if I couldn't get them, I went into withdrawals and I said, screw it. I'm just going to go into withdrawals and get off of it, which I did. But now, so I've got extra Benadryl and my ibuprofen. And yeah, next time I go to the store, I'm going to get another 2 bottles of each. Why? Because it's cheap. I got enough money and it's going to go on the shelf just in case. And that'll last me several months in the future. And if things don't disappear next month, I'll buy another 1 or 2 just in case to kind of keep the backlog going. But I'll always have 2 months supply in backlog. That's not hard to do with a bottle of a bottle of aspirin or ibuprofen or whatever it is, and some nasal. I use just straight Benadryl, and it takes care of my sinuses. But anyway. But the idea though, so you got to look at your own. Hey, David Castle, how are you? Scratch, I think I said hello already. Yeah. Good. Yep, trying to keep okay. Being a little slow these last couple of days, but me and Miss Deb have been working here on the homestead down here at the Hermitage, and I, I broke up the foundation to repair. Well, it wasn't really broke, but I'm trying to fix it better. Sometimes when it rains really hard, there are spots in the floor where water literally comes right up out of the floor. You go outside and there's no puddle. You come back in the house and water's like literally flowing from the kitchen out the back door. Hi, Marie. Yeah, I think I said hello, but hello again. Eve. Oh, you're saying hello to David Castle. Sorry, I'll stay out of this. I'm sorry, Marie. Any pizza lately? Inside joke. So with this being prepared, though, the first thing in any panic situation is don't panic. But if you go to the CVS pharmacy and you go up there thinking you're going to get your meds, and guys, well, we got a backlog. We're out. What? Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Null, but and this has happened before. Back when I was on Adderall and that other one, anyway. Ooh, critters in the yard. Oh, stop it. They're out there doing that thing. Whoa. They're really fighting. But it's springtime. Springtime for Hitler and Germany. Sorry. Anyway, I can get distracted easily. But we've been working here on the farm to get things ready in the floor. And anyway, but I put in about 10 bags of cement, done a crap load of digging around the foundation. So I've been a little sore. But To the point though, I can't quite do as much as I used to, but I'm still doing it. And that's where I'm at. It's like, well, I know people my age are like, well, I don't do that. I hire somebody to do that. Well, I've offered people, they don't come out here, so I'll just do it myself, and it's good exercise. But uh, trying to prepare the house in such a way that the front porch will be done finally, I hope, so that it can be not only a front porch and look pretty good, but it's more that it will be functional as a greenhouse, partial greenhouse front porch. And also my shed over here, I've been checking on windows. I got windows all over the place that need to get put up on something so that I can grow food indoors away from bugs and stuff. Because every time I try these last couple of years, one day I got a garden, and 2 days later it's like it's gone. It's like something just came in, and I look around and go, I sometimes wonder if aliens didn't just come and just take it or something. It's been really weird. But anyway, so but I've got peppers and pots over here, and you guys need water. Yes, I forgot. But they're in the house, they're protected, there aren't bugs on them, and it with greenhouse type porches and things and stuff. And I've got indoor lights that I've already purchased, so I just need to put all this together. But so I've got my local water, drilling another well back down here, back downhill from me right now. Got good water in there right now. So I'm making plans, you know, and I'm not worried about, no offense, but anybody else, because I can't. All I can do is say, now if a family member or somebody needs my help and they need a place to stay or whatever, blah blah blah. Well, okay, I think we got enough water for all of us. I think we got enough of this. I think we could make it. I can stretch a meal. We got a soup stone and an old bone. I think we can make some soup. I know enough about wild edibles and things, and right now there's enough stuff coming up. I can make us a stew. Sure, come on. But don't complain about, well, I don't know if I really like this. Well, then you're not really hungry, then, are you? There were people back in the day who used to eat bark. They used to eat mud because they were starving to death. And, God forbid, I hope it'll ever get like that again. But there are so many people, and I talked about it in my last video, but it's like everybody is the princess and the pea with the mattresses. Man, I just don't like that. And there's some folks that have become really kind of, in my personal opinion, a little hoity-toity in their beliefs. And it's like, well, so you don't have that. Well, I don't have that. I'm just not going to. Oh, stop it. Grow up. What if you don't have that? So now I really don't know where this is going to go. But it's already rippling. These effects are already happening, not just to us, but around the world because of the shipping and the docking and the thingies. So you need to look in your own world. I can't tell you what you need, but you got to take a really hard look at your own stuff. And I don't want you to panic anybody, but you need to warn some other people, because as every day goes by and the more this shuts down, it's going to take that much longer to get the ball rolling again. Well, where are we going to get it? It's sitting on a dock in the bay. But we can't get it over here. Well, so if the product's already made and it can't get here, that's one issue. If a third of the manufacturing area in China is shut down, it's going to take them a while to get that rolling again. So if they start shipping, it's going to take months before new products are made again, whatever the product is. So there could be stuff sitting on the dock that would eventually get to us, depending on what it was. And, but then again, we have to understand, how long is it going to take them to get production back going and get it to us in the timely manner? Because it takes months of preparation and ordering for things to make it through the supply chain. So look around. If there's something you can do without, start doing without it now in practice. Don't be sideswiped, because by summertime, we might all be very surprised about what isn't available anymore. Now, there are lots of things that are bottled and made within the United States. I'm not saying we're going to go into a total shutdown. Ain't what I'm saying. But there are things that some people are depending upon that is simply not going to be available. And we're just going to need to what are you going to do? If it ain't there, you can't wish it. Well, I wish it was there. Yeah, well, you don't know how to make it. No, well, yeah, well, it's sitting on the dock of the bay. To the good news of this, you mean there's good news about this? Oh, hell yes. I've been bitching forever that we need manufacturing back in the United States, that everything has gone away. People don't know how to do anything here anymore. I think, not the virus, mind you, but I think this is a really good thing for Americans to wake up and smell whatever it is that they like to sniff. Some people like to sniff, never mind, armpits. Let your imagination go wild. But the idea though that if we want some of these things, we need to make them. I don't care if we ship them anywhere. There are enough people in this United States and Canada and just Mexico. I don't care if it goes on a boat and goes anywhere else, but people want to sell stuff worldwide. You know what? This is going to prove to a lot of people, maybe we need to make a lot of this stuff ourselves. We got 1 million people that need jobs. Why don't we make this stuff here? Then we don't have to worry about getting some kind of China syndrome and the ships, all the things we ordered months ago ain't coming. Well, we already paid you for it. Well, uh-oh. So I'm thinking to myself, as far back as it takes to order things, there may not be certain 4th of July stuff in the stores. Just saying, because that's the stuff they'd be shipping now, because it takes that long to get into the stores. This is February. So wait a minute, that means by June, they got to have 4th of July stuff in. If it ain't being shipped, just saying, keep an eye out. Because if we don't get 4th of July stuff, because that was ordered a long time ago, but if it ain't reaching the stores, that ought to tell you something right there. You know what I'm saying? Keep an eye out. Don't panic. Find a substitute, or just simply learn to do without it. There are those things we absolutely need. A filter for something, I'm not sure what you may require. But find an alternative solution, because it may take, some items could take as long as a year to actually get back in the stores again. It took 4 months for certain products just after that hurricane last year. Okay. And it wasn't manufacturing. It was just stuff, foodstuffs and packaging stuff. It just did not make it back into the stores. Some stuff was out for almost 9-10 months to finally get back into the store, because the supply chain had been disrupted on certain items. Now, so I already know it can happen. It happened here. It's already begun. Prepare yourselves mentally. I can do without this. Now, if it's a breathing apparatus and you need some kind of, look ahead. Tell your friends you got a loved one that's on a machine or something, needs special batteries. Buy some extras right now, because they may not be available. We don't make a lot of batteries and stuff here. That's all shipped from overseas. Them little round batteries. What if they don't come flooding in like they're all over the place right now? What if they don't make it here and people start needing them little round batteries, for all kinds of stuff, you know what I mean? For hearing aids and this thing and that thing. They're in here. Wait a minute. There's already a premium on the dust mask. They're already charging double and triple and quadruple for some of this stuff. And they've already proven that those dust masks ain't really working because the virus particulates are smaller and can be breathed right into the mask. So, what should you be worried about? Love your earlier video cast. Thank you, Truth in Me. Yeah, Truth in Me says multitasking. Good to see you. Can coronavirus live on products or goods for more than 14 days? They were talking about that, a virus can live on something for up to 28 days. What? Normally, that just don't happen. Otherwise, it would turn into mold and start growing and growling at you like, I am the virus from Corona. I don't know. Does the coronavirus mean you drunk too many of the Corona? Never mind. Anyway, put a lemon in or a squeeze of lime. I think that part is a little stretchy. I'm just saying. Usually you wipe the counter, you're pretty much done. I mean, I don't live in the what most folks would be non-hygienic, but I wipe my counter off, and I don't use scalding hot water. And I do use soaps and things. I quit using bleach years ago, and I have moved to simple soaps and ammonia instead for a bunch of reasons, but the bleach was killing my septic tank. And anyway, so but an understanding about viruses and things, I'm like, I don't know if some of this hype is actually that true. Now, I do know that a regular flu virus, it may not make you sick right away. You can carry it. Some people just get the sniffles, and then other people get sick and have to go in the hospital. So we can all be carriers, but does it last on a counter for 14 days after I've washed it, scrubbed it, and otherwise what? Then there is no way to get around this. My take on that part is they're trying to scare the shit out of us. Just my personal opinion. But, hey, we all have an opinion, just like rear ends, right? We all got one. Some are hairier than others, but anyway, the rear ends, that is. But so the hype, regardless of how long it's carried, the bottom line still remains core value, not just spiritually, but physically. Take your vitamin C. If you're traveling around, or there are a lot of peoples, or you work in an industry where there are a lot of people coming in and out, and they might not be, locals, but wash your hands. This thing right here, if you shake somebody's hand and your nose itches, don't go like this, because if they had it on your hands, you're going to transfer it right to your nose. So there are certain things that you can do that are just really easy and common. But if they're saying you can contract it through your eyes, just if it's in the air. So if somebody coughs on a bus, anywhere on the bus, you don't have to breathe it in. It can just get in your eyes because of whatever's going on inside the thing. So I would avoid mass transit if possible. I know the kids going to school and all. That's, that. When I remember going to Tampa Catholic one year, we kept getting the same damn flu over and over again. Every 3 weeks, somebody was getting sick. When I worked at Prestolite as an engineer one year, we all got the flu, and every 3 weeks, and because we had, those, oh crap. Anyway, the little cubicles, that you could stand up and look over kind of thing, Dilbert kind of thing. So anyway, but so somebody's coughing on the other end of the office, Man, and within a week, it's made it to this end of the office, and they get better, we get worse, we get better, they get worse. I mean, it was nuts. And no matter what we did, it was just in the office. So we'd get a little better, we'd take vitamin C, and you get, feeling a little better. And then about that time, whoosh, bang, it'd come in and smack you again. Oh my God. And I think we were the carriers and we were making the change. The experiment was it kept changing a little bit each time. So for the person to get it again, it was modified slightly, simply because it'd been through many carriers, 800 people working at the plants and people moving in and out all the time. Easy for that, and people coming from other places on the in the United States and from Canada. I went to Canada several times, so that in itself, I could have carried something to Canada. Those times that I went. But to the point though, and on the plane, oh my God, so things are going to suffer. Whether or not it's going to be like the 1917, 18 flu epidemic, I don't know. I hope it doesn't. But the best offense in this is a defense with our own self-protection. Stay healthy. Do the right things. Don't get too drunk. Don't go overboard with this. Keep your vitamin level up. Truth of me, yeah, it's because people are not cleaning properly. That's how it can last 28 days or longer. But laugh and keep your energies up. Yes, absolutely, truth of me. But the thing is that if it's that bad, then no amount of cleaning or anything, whatever it is going to help you, except to not do certain things. But staying healthy is the key. And, don't panic if you worry about it all the time. That's going to set your clock going backwards, that's going to start eating, and the chaos will start darkening your spirit, it's all related. So, but, at first I thought, it's just a virus. And it is. I don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to make light of it. There are a lot of people that have that are sick. I don't know about the death toll. The weird thing is, we'll see, but it seems to be Asian dependent. Now, there are those folks who are talking conspiracy. I mention this because it's being mentioned. What? That us white people are those with African American descent may not actually get this thing. What? They're not as susceptible. What? You mean so this virus was specifically targeted certain genetic markers? OMG. Now, God forbid, I've known quite a few Asian folks in my life, and most of them are pretty good folk, and they make really good, anyway, Chinese food. But wontons, I don't know a white person that can make wontons like that. But to my point, I'm not making light of this, but if this is actually targeted for a particular group of folks, and God, I don't want anybody to just be whacked off, and but if this is and China's been doing some weird stuff, and we might have discussed about what the Nazis did and what the Russians have done. If it ever come to light what the Chinese have done, whoa, I'm just saying, pay attention to that one. But what is it going to do in my world, in your world? Now, is it going to affect me? Well, it could, and I'm not quite sure how. But the thing is that I'm going to be prepared mentally. This is in the works. Here's some chaos brewing. There's a storm brewing. So I'm going to find the things that I need the most and keep them close to me, whether it be vitamins or minerals or something. Am I going to go down and buy a few extra vitamins up? Yeah, just in case. I'm not going to buy up like a year's supply, but I am going to buy another two or three bottles of magnesium or something like that, and a little extra this or that and some vitamin C. Why? Well, if it'll last for a year on the shelf, is it going to hurt me to buy a couple extra? No. Why? What if you can't get it? What if everybody's brother runs the market on vitamin C products and you can't find it? And there ain't any oranges because the season's over and the delivery trucks ain't moving the squeezable kind. And you got to stop and think about this supply chain. If you run out of what's in the store, how does the store get more? If it don't, you're stuck. Hurricane last year. I know I keep bringing it up, but taught a lot of people down here a lesson we already sort of knew, but it kind of reinforced it. And we're all a little stronger for it because that storm was so bad. I'm like, I don't want another one to happen, but if it does, I can deal with it. And we all are stronger. You know what? We lived through that some bitch. It was horrible. Tornadoes, trees down, couldn't move anywhere. No communication, no cell phones, no nothing. And we made it. We survived. We'll survive this too. But there are folks that are going to be directly affected. And like I said, I don't know how. But with that, though, be prepared. Be prepared that other stuff can happen. Be prepared to make modifications in your lifestyle. If somebody says, well, I'm used to doing this all the time. Well, don't do it if you're going to be around 10,000 people that might be sick with. They might not all have it, but maybe you should I hate to say it, not go to that concert with 30,000 people. If you are of a sickly nature and you might want to just say, well, maybe not this time. I'm just going to let it slide. Maybe, just saying there are things that we can do. If it's already spread all over, I hope you know that by now. I mean, there are folks in Atlanta. They're still bringing in folks from China. Do you think they would, there are some very wealthy people that are trying to get the hell out of Dodge. And somehow, they're still letting them fly into LAX and other places like that. Are you nuts? But, hey, that's just me. I think Russia's got the right idea. Stay out until y'all are cured. Sorry, guys, but you're not hurting. Nyet. Sorry, but sorry, you're not coming in. I love you, but you ain't coming in. But they're, we're, of course, America can't be like that. We got to be so nice. Come on all in. Don't care if you're damn sick or not. Y'all bring your diseases right on in. If we all die from it, it's okay. We're Americans. Come on in. I'm kind of stupid that way too, but I'm like, you can come on, but you're going to stay over there. Okay. I'm sorry, but you might not be part of the group hug this time around. Just saying, you know what I mean? But in our preparedness of things, it all starts with here and in here. So this information that I'm, yakking about and everything, but this is going to be an interesting one to watch. Of all the Armageddon kind of apocalyptic kind of stuff, seeing the supply chain get shrunk down to nothing and nothing's moving, things aren't shipping. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Are we going to die? Are we all going to die from it? No. But it's going to affect a lot of people. There are going to be people who think they're dying from it because they can't get whatever it is they think they got to have. When people start going back down to their core values, to their core self, well, I need water. Yeah, that's true. But does it have to be flavored water? Does it have to be from Fiji? Or does it have... No, I just need clean water. Okay. What about, well, I got to have certain vitamins and I got to have some kind of food, and it needs to be balanced enough to where I've got vitamin C and I don't get scurvy and, and get sick because I don't have enough vitamins. So I'm going to take care of myself, and I'm going to eat properly, and I'm going to stay away from situations that could possibly get me sick. So I'm going to be careful. I'm going to be wary, and I'm going to pay attention. Isn't that what we should do every day? Just saying, you know. There are people that have the flu here in the United States that ain't the coronavirus, but still get just as sick. My friends in Tifton, when I was talking with them, they're all stuffed up and hacking and coughing. When are you going to come see us? When you get well, I love you, but I'm sorry, but you got that in your house. If I come to your house, I'm going to come home with it. I'm going to be sick. I don't want that. I feel pretty good right now. So, do I want to go up and visit with them? Yeah, but do I want to go up there knowing they're all going to be sick for the next week and I could get it? No, I'm going to be smart about it. Okay. So we use our brains, we use our thoughts, we pay attention up here, we look with our eyes, we listen to all sides of the story. Because one of the things that there are people talking about, and I saw some of the information and I'm like, the virus is so small, it can actually, the mask doesn't really do any good. It slows it down a little bit, but it doesn't really stop it. If it can get in the pores in your eyes, what good's a mask? Seriously? Uh, Seriously, if you're trying to breathe, but your eyeballs are going to pick up stuff, so you're going to get it just the same. Anyway, be prepared with whatever that you can. If you are prone to being sick or you know somebody that is, help them to stay well and pray for them if they get sick. And that's not just this coronavirus, that's any virus. I've told this before, and I think it'll be 5 years in a month or so. My nephew, my sister's youngest, Anthony, got sick with the flu, and he came home from work doing carpentry and stuff like a Thursday or so. Friday, over the weekend, he was sick in bed, didn't want to go out and do anything. By Monday, they had him in the hospital and he was dead by Wednesday. I mean, dead by Wednesday. And that's been about 5 years ago now. And the thing is, it lives down around Tampa, Dade City, down in that area. But caught this super duper bug. They gave him everything they could. He got so sick so fast. He was only like 20. He was less than 30. And so, and it's like, oh, holy crap. So can it happen to anybody at any time? Yes. Does it have to be the coronavirus? No. Can it happen at any time? You know what I mean? Yes. There's all kinds of stuff out there. And the interesting thing is my Anthony had been in a lot of trouble and done a lot of drugs, and he was clean. He'd stayed away from it, And whatever got him, though, was some weird stuff. You'd think, well, if he'd have been, partying all the time, he wasn't. He'd cleaned up his act. Boom. And he got taken out anyway. So cleaning up your life, it it will help. But even the youngest and the healthiest of us can get whatever it is and get knocked off our saddles, as it were. Bears have the right idea. Hibernate until it gets 60 or 70s. That's not a bad idea. People just need to stay home and heal. If they're sick, yes, I absolutely agree. And that's something, in America, especially, probably in China too, because we've all seen some of the conditions them folks have to put up with living in, closets. Actually, they go home to a closet and then they go back to work at the factory. The factory and where they live is the same place. in many of those conditions. So they are going to be sick. They are going to be really sick. And if they're close quarters and they're all the amount of hours that they have, so they're not as healthy as a lot of other folk. So the rate of how this spreads is going to be much faster than in a healthier population. You follow me? Regardless of that, we need to stay healthy. That's our defense. We need to be aware of the circumstances. If we hear and keep, don't be, you know, wacko about this, because the best defense is an offense. In that, you know, sometimes you got to rush the passer. If you just let him stand back there and, you know, wait until he finds somebody open, no. Sometimes you got to rush the passer. And in doing so, you know, you got to throw a curveball once in a while, you know, a little spit on it or something, and a slider. You got to, you know, change things up. But, and what I mean by that is that we have to think, what if? Don't panic. I'll figure it out. But I'm going to have the basics that I need. So I'm going to keep praying. We got to keep an eye on this just to be on the safe side. Truth in me, they also wear a mask when they are sick, so they're not giving it to the next person. That's true, truth in me, except guess what? If you sneeze, the particles, they're not all going to stay in there. Just saying. So, but agreed. David Castle, he passed his test and he got to go home. You're assuming death is a bad thing. For a 29-year-old with a brand new kid, yeah, that wasn't necessarily a good thing for my nephew Anthony. For me, if I go out, I've had my life. I don't have responsibilities like that anymore. But it's a shame for when young folk get it and haven't had a chance to really honestly get their life together. My friends, I will be highly repeating myself if I keep up with this. And that's one of the things. Keep a cool head, and that is true. Yes, thank you, truth to me. Whatever it is, whatever the situation, don't panic about it. But you're being warned, and warn your family and friends. Keep an eye on products, because if they start not coming back on the shelf, then you need to be aware that it might not be coming back for a while. Okay? If you're used to a certain whatever, you might want to find an alternate. Okay? Pay attention, my friends. So with that, I love you all. I do. It's Tuesday night going on. Whoa, it's Wednesday morning. We're going to be having rain, and then it's supposed to rain like hell. I know I was talking with Brian earlier, and he's got rainstorms up there. We were going to have a live stream tonight, but storms in Tennessee. And we had some rain earlier, but we're going to have rain coming in tonight and tomorrow. It's in our area. And the river is on the rise, but we're well within flood level down here. But that could change if we get 3 or 4 more inches of rain. That the rivers will definitely be up. We got water in the backyard finally, after several years of not having enough rain. For the moment, the drought conditions have been alleviated. We still haven't had enough rain to replace what we missed. South Georgia was 20 inches behind schedule last year. Just last year, 20 inches of rain. So we've had 3.5, 4.5 inches of rain this February. So far, so good. We'll see. My friends, I love you. I do. Thank you. From Miss Deb and I, and cosmic hugs to all y'all out there. Keep a cool head. Keep an eye on this. This is not something to just like, wow, that's not really going to affect me. Be careful. Depending on where you live, it may affect you a bunch. Now, for example, I know I can get bread because there's a bakery 20 miles south of me, Flowers Bakery. I think we got bread, and they've got wheat stored, and they've got things covered. We, right around here, we're going to have bread. Flowers Bakery, main office, 20 miles south. Other things, maybe not. We might not get crushed garlic in the bottles. We might not give olives. We might, just saying. But I will be prepared in any way. And if something runs out, I'll figure it out. That's what we all need to learn how to do. Big hug to you and Deb. You're absolutely truth to me. I've been seeing this here now. Love you all, beautiful beings. Stay warm, stay safe, and know you are all more than what you think you are. Much love, favor, and peace. Thank you, Truth in Me. And it was an honor and a privilege to repeat what you said. Plant your garden. Absolutely. Buy some seeds. Get some seeds. Get some seeds. Buy some seeds. Get some seeds. Plant hanging baskets. Anything. Grow something. David Castle. Have a wonderful evening yourself. Love you, brother. Back right at you. So, close with the prayer, and I honestly do mean this. I continue to pray for everybody, but for each and every one of you, your friends, your family, your friends, and all of your relations, past, present, and to come, will be able to accept, receive the blessings, the gifts, the knowledge, and the wisdom from the universe. I continue to pray that each and every one of you, your friends, your family, all of those relations, and all of the people that you meet will learn to accept and receive the healings, the blessings, and the knowledge from the universe. And above all, as the rule of three is, I continue to pray that each and every one of you, your friends, your family, and all of your loved ones, past, present, and to come, will accept, receive, and continue to share the wisdom, the knowledge, the healing from the universe. Continue the good work, my friends. Kudos. Cheers, everybody. To Dante and friends, and to all the Charistas and the Azazians, keep up the good work. There are many of us that are still praying for you in whatever capacity we can. So keep up the good work, all y'all. And until next time, pay attention, but don't live in fear or chaos. You have the choice to make the decision. And that's how you stay prepared. Have the knowledge, have the wisdom to be able, regardless of the situation, be able to get through it. I love you all. And until next time, tomorrow night, with any luck, 10 o'clock, I think, with Brian with Milky Way Messenger Weekly or whatever. I get confused. Love y'all. And from South Georgia, where it's spotty rain, TTFN, ta-ta for now, my friends, and always cosmic hugs. Bye.